Everybody's looking for fresh voices and fun chats. Well, look no further. Join the Shorty Logic podcast. Every Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're live with diverse topics and engaging chats. Mondays are for everyone, and Wednesdays are ladies' night. Subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Like, share, and comment. We want to hear from you. Don't miss out. Come join the conversation.
Once again, everybody, welcome to the Shorty Logic podcast. I am your host, Miss Sugar. I want all the smoke. And here's my co-host.
Hello, you all. This is Bliss. Y'all know who it is. I hope everybody's doing wonderful this week. It's Wednesday, hump day. Woo-woo. So y'all know what time it is. We about to get silly in this mother.
I'm telling you, it's that time, and just ignore the third person on here.
Yeah, why are we looking at you? Get your ass up off there, Nick.
And tonight we have a wonderful topic presented to you by Miss Bless. And she gonna go ahead and introduce that topic.
Well, hey, y'all. I'm gonna put it out to y'all like this. It's been a long day at work, so I'm gonna put it to you like this. I'm gonna keep it honest. I don't remember the motherfucking topic. We're gonna talk about it. Long show video.
What do you see as the big disconnect in the United States? Like the big disconnect between parents and kids?
Between parents and kids?
Yeah.
I think it's really hard to be a great parent. I think it takes a lot of effort. I don't think most people are willing. It's just like being excellent in any other area of your life. If you want to be an excellent parent, it's a lot of time. Most parents just turn it over to the system. Here, take my kid and do what you can with him. Like, to actually pull your kid aside and teach him all these things and make sure they're following up on these things, it's a lot of work, dude. Most parents just put their kids in front of a video console or put them in school and call it good. And God bless them. Like, it's too hard, the alternative for them. The disconnect is just parents, honestly, like, you get out of your kids what you put into them, just like you get out of work what you put in, just like you get out of the gym what you put in, just like you get out of your eating habits, like your love life, like all these things. Life isn't an accident. You know, if you want your kid to be a better kid, it takes a lot of effort and time. I think one of the reasons why I've waited this long to have a family is I never wanted to half-ass it. I do want to have one, but I'm not like dying to have one still. But by the time I do, I'm going to be a hell of a dad. I will never be a half-assed dad. And by the way, God bless these parents. They're trying to put food on the table. They're trying to take care of their own shit. Like, when you're a kid, you assume everyone has their shit figured out. It's just not the case. It's easy for me to sit here and criticize a parent for not putting more into their kid. But shit, I ain't dealing with real world problems. I ain't dealing with what they have to go through, the emotional side.
He had a lot of valid points. I'm gonna tell you now,
Yes,
what
he
he
did.
said made a lot of sense. You get out of your children what you put into it.
Absolutely.
I absolutely believe that. That's the truest
believe that
statement
too.
I ever heard.
Yeah,
Because
I
if
believe
you-
it too.
Yeah, for sure. Because if you walking around here, you more focused on whatever dude or whatever chick you fooling with than your child is sitting right there in front of you. Because there's a lot of that going on. I see way too much of that. Y'all put so much effort into the one you're dealing with, dating, courting, whatever you're doing. It may not even be your person. It might be somebody else's person. You see it on the side. Whatever you got going on, you'll put more emphasis in that than your own child sitting in front of you.
Yeah.
Sit down with them, talk to them, teach them something, help them do their homework. You know, ask them how their day has gone, because the days that they're being raised in now is totally different from what we were raised in. We can go out and hang out and do all kind of things. When we was 17, 14, 15, we could just do whatever. You know, he had to be on the porch by a certain time. But as long as you was outside and that sun was out, you can go wherever the hell you wanted to. Nowadays, if I don't care if it's daytime, kids are getting snatched in the daytime. They're dealing with real life problems now that they may not have been we wasn't dealing with that type shit. We didn't have the issues they had back then. I don't care what nobody say. We didn't have them type issues. When we went outside to play, we went outside to play, and we did all kind of crazy shit. Now it's like, if you go outside, you gotta look over your shoulder. Somebody trying to jump you. Did you piss off somebody at school that's trying to shoot you? Are you going to get jumped? Like, it's the crazy shit going on right now, and I get it. So pay attention to your children and put more focus on them than the other shit you got going on. Make time for your kids. That's my opinion.
That right. I'm gonna piggyback off what you said because that's my first thing was the generation is different now. Like your elders is on a different playing field than the new generation of parents. And the new generation of parents glorify their kids when they're babies, when they're little, and then they create these monsters. And then when they get to a certain age and they can't control them, then they expect the world to take over. And it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that at all. So, like you said, what you put into your kids is what you're gonna get in return. So, if you create these little monsters out here, where they out here running amok, acting a fool, being disrespectful, and all this other shit, just like the child wagon this weekend, where they had that, and them kids was down there showing ass. Y'all don't set these kids loose to go downtown to the child chuck wagon, and then they're showing their ass, and y'all know where to be found, and y'all don't even give a damn because as long as somebody else is participating and try to bring them up, it makes it easier for you. Y'all getting lazy.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of lazy parenting going on right now. We understand life is life and you got to pay bills and all that stuff, but you know what? The thing is, at the end of the day, I don't soft. I don't know how to say it. I don't feel really no sympathy for some of these parents out here because, like I said, the younger generation, y'all literally having babies to hold on to men, try to hold on to relationships and marriages and all this shit. And then the thing is, whoever's going to leave, they're going to leave because they want to leave one way or another. Absolutely. So a child is not going to mend that at all. At all. Secondly, once them children are here, it is your responsibility as a parent to raise these children. And then when you stop raising them at a certain age because life may be hitting hard, it doesn't mean you forget about home. But now you got these kids going to school, being disrespectful to the teachers, also, and then y'all condone the bullshit. I'm just gonna say what it is. Y'all condone the bullshit. And then the thing is, when y'all get held accountable for the bullshit that they do, then you want to feel some type of way. No, grow the fuck up. Y'all need to grow the fuck up like your kids need to get it together.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
People are lazy as fuck.
I totally agree. And then one thing I know I always did when my children were growing up, if you pay attention to your children, you know your children. So what I mean by that is I knew what my children would and wouldn't do. If somebody would come to me, because I know my kids. So if somebody would come to me and say, oh, such and such did such and such, I was never the parent to be like, no, you got my child fucked up. I'm gonna be like, let's talk about it. Let's sit down. And I'm gonna put my children right there with you, in front of you. Well, let's have a conference. So let me know what my children did. I'm gonna have my child sitting right there.
The same PI you could be when you in a relationship with a man and you trying to figure out if he's fucking around on you or something, you can do that for your kids as well.
Exactly. And if they would sit there and say, oh, well, such and such did this, and the third. Okay. And I was this type of parent. I would look over and I'd be like, so what's going on? Tell me what happened. I want your side of the story in front of her. And then once my child would tell me if I got backlash or attitude or slump down, I know your ass did it. Then if you sit there, you be like, Mama, listen, this ain't what okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. But at the end of the day, I was also that parent that was like, all right, so ma'am, could you step out the room for a minute?
Yeah.
Because it's about to go fucking down. Because my grandmother was a firm believer that wherever you showed your ass was where I was going to check your ass.
Yeah.
So, and I know you probably can't do that nowadays. And that's the problem. You can't do it nowadays.
You can. As long as you do it the right way, you can.
As long as you do it the right way. But I'm telling you, I didn't have no issues talking about, hey, is this what you cutting your ass in school? It's going down in school. I would tear that ass up in school. It is what it is. Denisha Edwards says some parents go, but the phrase do as I say and not as I do, but kids watch everything you do. This is true.
Yes,
and a lot of parents do. A lot of them do. You're absolutely right, Denisha. A lot of parents say that. Oh, do as I say, not as I do. But that's bullshit because they are watching you. Children are sponges. They picking up everything you do. The way you talk to people. I'm gonna tell you right now. The way you talk to people, the way you respond to people, the way you absolutely carry yourself as a father, a mother, a parent. The way you carry yourself, they're gonna pick up on that. they're going to do the same thing. So when
And
you're
stop
not
involving
around,
your kids in your problems in your household because, baby,
exactly,
y'all got a bad
exactly.
habit of teaching your kids how to lie for you when it's benefit for you. And then when they get older and they start lying to you,
Then
then
you're
you
gonna
wonder
scold
where
them.
it come from. It come from you.
Exactly.
I've said that plenty of
Exactly.
times before.
Exactly.
Y'all got to be cautious is what you do around your kids because and what you teach them. You
Yep.
teach them bad habits, how to be a manipulator, to get money out of their daddies and everything. Let me be clear on this. You have some really great fathers out here, but y'all some sour pussies and y'all don't want them involved in your children's life because y'all sour about how y'all ended.
Because they don't want
great
you.
mothers out here.
Yeah.
And y'all are, and the thing is, y'all just happen to choose the wrong man. And it's okay because the shit happens.
It happens. That's life.
But that has nothing to do with the upbringing of your children.
Absolutely.
So whether you are a father or a mother, you do what's best for them because once you lay down and have them, baby, they didn't ask to be brought in this world, as they say.
That's right.
That's
your responsibility. And even if you feel like, and one thing for certain too, for sure, this is what I hate. Even though you might hate that man, hate that woman, whatever, and you feel like it was a mistake laying down with that person, don't treat that child like they was a mistake. And don't make those type of comments around those children because they're going to start feeling like that. Oh, I'm a mistake. They hate me. They don't want me anyway. So I'm going to cut up. If they don't respect me anyway, I ain't going to respect them. And then stop thinking. I hate when people say, oh, I'm the parent, so he has to automatically respect me. If you've been teaching that child no respect, if you've been showing this child no respect his whole damn life, do not think that just because you're a parent that they're going to respect you. It's bullshit.
Right.
It's bullshit. Because I'm going to tell you right now, my mother was a disrespectful motherfucker. And nothing about her made me respect her. Nothing about her. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to grow up in your house and you tell me, oh, you're going to respect me because I'm your mother. Fuck that. If you didn't show me no respect and all I seen you do is disrespect me, disrespect my other family members, disrespect everybody that comes in your breathing zone, that's all you know is disrespect, then how the fuck I'm gonna respect you if you don't respect yourself? So at the end of the day, we have to stop being the type of parent to say, oh, you're gonna do this because I birthed you. Who gives a fuck? Nobody told you to. And that's how they feel. I didn't tell you to birth me. But you need to treat me with some respect, and I'm gonna treat you with some respect. You can't expect more of that from someone that you're willing to give. And that's the whole thing.
Some parents out here that devalue their kids, and they don't even realize they are diminishing their character. They're diminishing their childhood. They doing a lot of that, and they don't even realize they're doing it. Because I'm gonna tell you something. Like I just seen a video of a woman who called her child's father to come pick her up a couple of days prior to school day because she said that she was acting out and not listening and misbehaving. Well, then he goes to take her to school, and then now you got mom out here showing her ass, and on top of that, she's telling this little girl, "Get your bitch ass in the car," and
pushing on her and shit.
And it's like, you a nasty motherfucker. Because for you to sit up here and act like that, but you just called this man 2 days prior to come and get his child, and now you act like you don't want to be around her. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's some bullshit. Y'all got to get y'all damn emotions in check.
In front of, but wait a minute, at the school though. She was at the school.
Yeah, at the school.
It was students walking everywhere.
The police officers out there,
the sheriff or something done, security
the
done
vice
came
president.
I mean, all my friends are seeing this. The daddy sitting there like, no, I'm going to go to court. Look at this. Look at what I'm saying. Look at how she's treating her. She's calling her out of name. She's pushing on her. She's demoralizing her. She's making her feel like shit in front of her whole school. Do you think that child gonna go to school and have a good day?
Right. She was crying. The little girl was crying.
She was crying. She was embarrassed.
But the thing is, here's the thing that I got from that. The thing I got from that is this. It wasn't even about the little girl. It was about her being really hateful towards the father. And in the midst of it, she don't even realize she was shooting bullets at her own child. Trying to be hateful towards the father.
Toward him.
Yeah. That's why I said, y'all got to get in check with your emotions. And it comes to a certain point where either way go, if you want to co-parent the right way, but you can't carry your emotions of how you feel about that man or how you feel about that woman into parenting your child. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. Like I said, they didn't ask to be in this world. It's not their fault. Right. You lay down and decide that you will go ahead and bring this child in the world, whether the other person liked it or not. So therefore, check yourself.
That's right.
Because the way them kids showed their ass down there at that chuck wagon in Louisville, Kentucky was ridiculous. Putting hands on a police officer. I'm talking about total disrespect in every way possible. It made me really embarrassed to say I was from Louisville, Kentucky.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky too, and I'm here to tell you that shit was crazy. We used to look forward to Derby and Derby.
Yes.
We could not wait. Chow wagon, balloon glow. I'm talking about we could not wait. The Derby parade, like we could not wait. I stopped going to the parade a long time ago because riffraff. I gotta call it what it is. You walking around, they want to snatch your purse, do all kind of crazy shit. They want to break out fighting. You got babies in strollers, they fighting and running over strollers. Like, damn, can we not have anything anymore?
It is not cute to be out there showing y'all asses and then expect y'all kids to have some type of respect for themselves, let alone you, when you're out there showing. And then on top of that, the fact that y'all condone it. Y'all are the same parents that will go to these schools and show y'all asses to these teachers and these principals and stuff like that. And then you expect them to act any different in public? No, they're going to act like you.
They're going to act
y'all don't take the chance to y'all don't take the time to sit back and evaluate and say, my child just might be wrong in the situation. I done seen numerous of videos of kids in school disrespecting teachers. Well, they shouldn't have talked to them like they shouldn't have did that. It could be the most minor thing. And y'all are so up and just ready and pumped to show y'all ass to go by.
And this exactly just goes back to what I was talking about how you're acting a fool in the house. Then you send them kids to school and you don't treat them like a puppy all day or like a damn dog all day. And that's what they know. So then when they go to school, they looking for and you can tell when a child, I don't care what nobody say, you can tell when a child is abused at home. Because when they come to school nitpicking, they come to school as bullies. They trying to find somebody else to take that anger out on because they can't do it to you. They know they can't whoop your ass. So they're gonna go to school and be bullies and try to whoop the first person they see. They stealing y'all guns out of the house, going to school with the damn build up and shit.
Resentment towards you
because
they don't know how to handle their emotions because you done stepped all over their emotions in the household.
Exactly.
What Javante say?
I am a proud Black man, but what they did down there, it makes me ashamed of our culture and our community. That is why the government look at us the way they do. Exactly. I agree 110%.
Yep.
That's why we're looked at that way, because they always call us monkeys and they call us all kind of animals, and they say we act like animals and we carry ourselves and raise our kids like animals, and then we get offended when they say it. But let's be honest, stop portraying what they're telling you are. Stop acting. If you act like a motherfucking puppy, they're gonna call you a puppy. If you act like a damn gorilla, they're gonna call you a gorilla. So if you out here destroying your own shit, and that's another thing, we always destroying our own shit. We get mad, destroy our whole damn neighborhood. How are we gonna survive? Because at the end of the day, white people get mad. You don't see them turn up their shit. They'll probably come down there and do some crazy shit and tear up our shit. We'll get mad and tear up our shit. So how are we gonna ever have something we all tearing up our shit?
Straight up, you know what? We are one of the coaches that is the first one to want to cancel everybody else, but we don't want to take accountability for the role.
There you go. There you go. Accountability is everything.
And it's sad. It is sad as hell, y'all. It's sad as hell. But as a whole, you have a variety of parents out here, not just Black, not just white. You have a variety of lazy ass parents out here that need to get their shit together so their kids could do better. Lead by example.
There you go. Lead by
example. And teach your kids to start being leaders and not followers.
There it is right there.
Thing right there.
There it is right there. Stop being a follower. Just because Joe down the street was doing this or he was doing that, you don't got to go do it too. And y'all don't have to talk to these kids about safe sex. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about, because these chicks out here bragging about having grandkids and they 26 years old and you a grandma. That shit weird for me. I'm like, that shit crazy.
Weird as hell.
But if that's what floats y'all boat, it's the craziest shit ever. Start talking to them about safe sex, because I'm gonna tell you right now, ain't nothing worse than working somewhere in a facility and seeing children come in this 11, 13, 12, and they already got herpes and different diseases and shit because they out here just running amok because y'all not teaching them shit.
I'm gonna tell y'all something else. And this is another thing that a lot of y'all don't even realize. Y'all gimmick. The government is making y'all gimmick because y'all followers and y'all following trends and the way y'all maneuver and operate in this world today, y'all are trends. And so that's another gimmick that's been put out here by the government, and y'all fall right into it. Right into it. And so everything that come out of their mouth, they sit there, they say, got them. Got them.
Because they know they're gonna play follow the leader.
Yes.
This
But
type
I'm
of
gonna tell
games
you
we played
something.
in elementary. Follow the
In
leader.
elementary
Yeah,
school.
all that crazy shit. Tic tac toe,
Yeah.
tag. Like
Yeah.
we run
Yeah.
around behind each other. You taught to
Yes.
act that way.
And what they make y'all? They make y'all followers and not leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got to get y'all shit together in order to get your. I know it's hard. Like I said, I know it's hard out here. I'm an older parent. I know it's hard. I know it ain't always easy. But sometimes you got to start looking at it half full rather than half empty. Because if you sit in that misery, if you sit in that depression, if you sit in all these things, then you know what? Life is going to hand you a bunch of dull ass grapes. You ain't going to be able to eat them. It comes to a point where y'all got to change the narrative. And y'all the only person that can change the narrative when it comes to y'all kids.
Yeah.
The
And teach them
one.
something. You got to teach them something. Teach them some structure. Teach them how to save money. Teach them how to have a bank account. Teach them that just every dollar that come in your house and in your pocket doesn't mean you got to run out
just
the door.
expect them to automatically be something great when you ain't teach them nothing.
And you ain't taught them
shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One thing I told my daughters is a hustle. I said, no matter what you do in life, always have you a hustle. Always, because just in case you don't have a job, always have a hustle. Like me, I do hair, I do nails. Guess what? My kids know how to do hair. They know how to do nails because I taught them everything I knew.
Yeah.
I taught them everything I knew. There's no reason for a woman that knows how to bring in income, whether it's hair, nails, whatever you do, and not use that. I told them it should never be a dull day. Like y'all can do braids and shit. Like charge $100. You ain't gotta do 200. Like tell them bring your own hair, charge $100. Something. Put some money in your pocket. It should never be a reason why you have to depend on nobody other than yourself.
And like I said, it ain't everybody, but let me just say, the bottom line is the same pressure you apply behind yourself, behind that man, behind that woman, apply that to your children.
Absolutely.
Apply that pressure to your children. Yeah, do that.
Denisha says some parents don't know it first, so how can they teach them? Well, listen, I'm going to tell you like this, and this is real, because I'm going to tell you, my mother didn't teach me a lot of shit I know. So I'm not going to use that as an excuse that the parents don't know, so how do they teach a child? I'm going to tell you what I did.
Because right and wrong. Nobody's stupid. They got plenty of common sense.
But here's the thing. You got to have enough get up and go. You got to want to do. You have to want to do it. Because at the end of the day, my mother, I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't graduate high school. I went and got my GED. But it's not because my mother pressed me to go get my GED. It's because I got pregnant with my first daughter. And I said, you know what? I seen how I was struggling. I said, I want something better for me. My mother didn't push me to do a damn thing. So at the end of the day, I went out there and got my GED. I've been to college 3 different times. Yes. I have done all these things for me because I wanted my children to see me do better. So it wasn't about nobody teaching me nothing. It was about me not liking my surroundings and changing it. Because if you don't like where you at in life, change it.
Fix it.
It's not somebody else's responsibility. It's yours.
You can't use that as an excuse all your life that because you went through this and because you went through it. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. It was a lot of things I experienced in my life. Some of my family don't even know. But being abused by my father when I was a little girl, and growing up and seeing my mother go through some of the things she went through, for me, it was an eye-opener because it said, this is what I don't want. And that's why I say you get to a certain point in your life where those excuses do not work no more. You have the common sense.
You have to.
So don't sit up here, and this is no offense to Denisha, but to answer your question, don't sit up here and allow yourself to use excuses as a crutch. When you grown, you don't learn some things along your way when you got grown.
That's right.
With or without your parents, you have learned some things. Right. If you can learn to do bad with some motherfuckers, you can learn to do good.
You can learn to do better. Absolutely.
So,
But what's the radio station? What was it? WLOU back in Louisville? They was like, if you can't, it might be 96. If you can't change the people around you,
change the people around you.
That's what you got to do.
What'd she say?
I'm saying as being a parent trying to teach your own kids financial. Oh, it's a lot of self-help books out there. You can go on YouTube. There's Google. There's different things you can do. You're going to have to do the research and you're going to have to do the work. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to do the work. You have to do the research, but get online, go to your bank, go to your local bank, open up a bank account, ask them questions. Get some pamphlets on the RAs and different things like that.
And you can make time for yourself to learn it. Therefore, you can teach your child.
It can be done. Y'all can learn it together. Sit down and read.
It starts with the basics. It starts with the basics. Like, do y'all remember in school where they used to give you these worksheets and they had pennies, nickels, dimes,
Yes.
quarters on
Yes.
there. Y'all remember those worksheets? Because
Yep.
I remember that.
Yes.
Okay, and they taught you how to count change. Then they taught you how to count dollars. So
Mhm.
now you want to get into finance because you want to learn
Mhm.
how to save and do this and all that stuff.
Mhm.
You know, it like she said, Google, YouTube. And matter of fact, there's nothing wrong with you reaching out to a financial advisor just to
There you
get
go.
a snippet of what you should do.
That's what I'm saying. Go to the bank and ask them to explain it to
Yeah,
you. They
you
will
can get
do it.
advice all day long.
will
You
do
just
it.
got to put in the effort to do
Mhm.
it.
And I'm gonna tell you how to start small. This is what I watched my grandmother do. I promise. What my grandmother did was, anytime she got change, I can show you right now. Just bullshit change. Just change.
Mhm.
Anytime you got change, take that change, and you'd be surprised how it adds up. Take that change, throw that shit to the side.
Yep.
Get a piggy bank. Back in the day, everybody had a fucking piggy bank. Get a piggy bank.
And
Take
if you
all.
can't
I
do
used to
that,
take all. I still got one. I promise I do.
let me tell you what I got.
Silver
I got
change
one
in
of those.
one, pennies in the other. That's my put silver change in one, pennies in another. At the end of the year, that's how we did a
Baby.
Christmas fund back in the day. At the end of the year, you take all your change, and you can either get some wrappers. I got wrappers back here, change wrappers. I still got change wrappers, coin wrappers. Believe it or not, you can take it,
You
wrap
can
it all
get
up.
those from the
If
bank.
you don't want to lose any money, come from the bank. If you
Yeah,
don't want to
you can
lose
get from
any
the bank.
money, you take it and wrap it yourself. Make it a game with you and your children. Sit there and wrap coins.
Mhm.
Pennies, you get 50 pennies. Well, wrap them 50 pennies up here. How many pennies is this? Count these pennies right here. Wrap this up here. How many nickels does it take? Oh, it's 40. Okay, wrap that up. And you
Yeah.
sit there and let them do that. When they get done, have this big old thing of change, they're going to feel proud. They're going to feel accomplished because they did
And if
something.
you
And
don't
they
want to go to
saved
the
that
damn
money
piggy
themselves.
bank, you can go get the same when you go grocery
Mhm.
shopping and you buy them big jugs of juice.
Mhm.
You can take one of them big jugs once it's
That-
empty,
yes,
wash it out,
an
dry,
empty
make
jug.
sure it's dry,
Yeah.
and throw your change in there.
Mhm.
And to make it fun, you could your kids could decorate
Can
it.
decorate it.
You can have their name on it. You know,
Mhm.
you gotta be
Make it
creative.
fun.
You could do that. If
Make
you
it
don't
fun.
feel comfortable going to speak to somebody because you don't want to feel inadequate, which I understand some people get
Mhm.
nervous and don't want to feel like they less than.
Right.
You know,
Right.
everybody has complexes, but you could do that. You could get those jugs, put their names on it, let them decorate it. Say every time you get some change, you know, take it and put it in your jug. If you want to put dollars in there and all stuff, and then when it grows, you can turn it into something where they're excited about it.
Exactly.
They're excited to
Like
do that.
this is your Christmas fund. So at the end of the year, when it's time to do Christmas, we're gonna take all this change that you save. This is your money, and then we're gonna take it. We're gonna wrap it, or we're gonna. I don't believe in them change things because they take a percentage of your money. So if you want to keep all your, and you can do it if you're lazy and don't want to wrap. Hey, it's on you. But if you take and wrap your coins and then let them take it to the bank, you take all those coins still to the bank today, and then they're going to give you cash back for it. You might have saved $100, $200. It doesn't matter. That's their money. That's their Christmas money.
They got teen accounts. They got teen accounts.
And they got
teens accounts that you can take that at the end of the year and say, okay. And what you do is you sit down and you say, okay, now let's count all your money up. You count all the money up, and they got a such amount. So maybe they come up with $300 at the end of the year or something like that. Okay, so what you do is say, now I'm gonna give you, let's take $100 of your money and you can use it to do whatever you want to do. If you want to go to Chuck E. Cheese or whatever case may be, yes. Now what you should do with this is you should put this up so you'll have for later in case y'all want to go skating, y'all want to go do this or whatever later on. You have it in a savings for you. Teach them that way. Because you also may be learning yourself as well.
There you go.
And that can help both of y'all.
Absolutely. I agree. Because I'm telling you, I've been having like a little change drawer for years. People know. They'll come here, my daughter be like, Mama, so how much you got some change? I need to do that. Get that little drawer right there. I mean, that's just how I am. Like my husband, he still has a Steelers piggy bank. And he'll come in here and throw change in it I'm telling you, at the end of the year, I'm trying to tell you what I know. You'll be surprised what's in that damn. You'll be surprised what's in that damn piggy bank.
I used to do babysitting in middle school.
I did too.
And so my mom worked 2 jobs to pay bills. And I used to get a check from my father. So my thing was, my mom was like, okay, that's your money. And then she had her money to pay the bills and all that stuff. But she gave me the option of what to do with my money. Well, guess what? So when I would make money from babysitting and stuff like that, I would save it. And what I would do is when the school year started, right before the school year started, I would buy my own shoes and clothes for school. That was something that I wanted to do to take a load off my parents. And I learned that because of her.
Right.
And I learned that because of myself. I knew I was a sneaker head, y'all. When I said, because I hung with all the fellas, I had to be fly. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I'm on the team. I had to be fly.
Right.
So I was a sneakerhead, and I would always match my outfits to my sneakers that I had bought.
Right.
So it was a thing for me I made it a thing for myself that I would save my money up and I would have this much money to play with and I would have this much money for my shoes and this much money for my clothes. And when I was to go to school, this was in middle school, y'all. I would go to school and then my friends was like, well, how you get this? How you get that? I was like, I was babysitting. And they was like, you made all that money from babysitting? I'm like, yeah, I saved my money. Yeah. So I taught a couple of my little friends how to do it. It's really a lot of you teaching them self-discipline.
Self-discipline. There you go.
Yes.
Okay, you guys, we need to go into the next video.
A lot of parents are hypocrites, right? It be the same parents who sit here and say, stay in the child's place. You can't ask me questions. But you're also the same parent who makes your child watch after their sibling.
Yep.
You make them tend to household responsibilities, cook for kids, take care of grandparents, give the grandparents their medicine, just depending on what type of household, if you have a transgenerational household, stuff like that. But you're also the same parent that say you have to stay in the child's place.
Yeah.
No. That child has, that child should be able to have a voice and speak as well because you forced them to mature fastly. You made them develop quickly. You made them become an adult in the household. You made them become a second parent in the household, and then you want to tell them what they can and cannot do. They can't ask you questions, but you put that on them. They didn't ask for that. They didn't ask to be your emotional cushion. They didn't ask to be your punching bag. They didn't ask to be a second parent. They didn't ask to be a caregiver. They didn't ask to be the person who's taking care of things. They didn't ask to help pay bills. They didn't ask to be at 16, 17 to go get a job and help pay bills and stuff like that. We really want to talk about
God forbid she wears some booty shorts because then she's being fast.
Oh, okay.
You push me in the fast track.
So many of us, going back when we did. So
the
many
same
of
thing
us,
we just said.
I'm telling you, so many of us had to take care of. Well, we got to be children at a certain age.
Yeah.
The kids now, a lot of women are going out here having all these babies, and then you're making your child raise those babies. That's not fair to them. They are not the ones that had the fun. They didn't partake in the activities. They should not be the ones to have to miss their childhood because you want them to now be parents. Then your excuse is, well, I mean, they're going to have to grow up and do this, that, and the third because I need help. No,
because it benefits you.
You should have been better. You should have been better selective in what you were doing, and maybe the daddies would pitch in and do what they need to do. They should not have to raise your children that you continue to have. Because some of y'all got 2 or 3 that y'all got the damn 12-year-old watching already, and you're pregnant. Like, make it make sense. That child deserves to have a childhood just like your ass did. If you didn't, shame on you, but don't put that on that other child. That's not fair to me.
I was a strict parent. Let me tell you something. I don't believe in that playing house shit. I don't believe in them baby dolls that you gotta change diapers and all that shit. I don't believe in none of that shit because that shit is preparing your daughters to grow the fuck up quickly. And then you got them running around at 10, 11, 12 talking about, I want to have 2 kids and then I said, no, you got these kids out here where they are seeing what you're doing and they're thinking that's what they're supposed to be doing. Because for some things, but you got to understand that some things are just naturally in kids. As they progress to get older, they get this feeling inside of them. And it's a natural feeling, but they don't understand it. And you can hinder that by showing them something and they think that's what they're supposed to do. And it's not what they should do. If you want them to be different, you got to change the cycle in your household and make it different.
Yes. Change the narrative.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. You're the narrator. Change the narrative if that's what you want to do, but you need to actually put a foot forward to do it.
That's right.
It's not hard. It's not hard. If you got a job out here where you got to work 12 and 13 hours, cool. I understand it because, hey, it's no parenting handbook. So I get that. But it doesn't mean that you can't make the time to put your kids in some after school activities or, put the right people in front of them to where they can have mentors out here, the mentor program, all kinds of stuff. Do your facts check, make sure everybody's straight before you do it, because I know it's a dangerous world out here now. But you just got to put your foot in front of the other to do the homework. And then there's other ways to get help with your children. It ain't gotta be from mama. It ain't gotta be from daddy. There's a thing.
Oh yeah,
you gotta Google all day long. Find it, invest in making sure it's straight, put your kids in it.
But that's the best thing, like you just said, find some activities that talk, and that's why it's important to talk to your kids. Ask them what they're interested in. What's your interest?
Right.
What do you like to do? Because I'm gonna tell you, so many of us want to throw our children in things they're not interested in. We go, and the fathers always want to put them in sports. They're gonna play football, basketball. That's your life. Maybe that ain't what they want to do. Maybe a child is not into football. Maybe they're not into basketball. Maybe he's into dance. You don't know what he's into because you don't know until you ask. Maybe he wants to do karate. Who knows? Stop thinking for your children and thinking, oh, well, because I did this, you gonna do it too. And then when they lose interest, you're trying to figure out why they're losing interest, why they're not good at it, because it's not what wasn't meant for them. Maybe it's something else that was meant for them. My daughters, when they was growing up, first thing I did, I was like, oh, you're going to ballet. And that's what I did. And then it didn't last long. They went into that shit. My kids wanted to cheerlead, so that's what the hell they did. So, it's all about asking them what they want to do. And like my grandkids, right now, they're doing T-ball. I was like, T-ball? Okay, well, let's do T-ball. But you never know. You just never know what children are into until you ask. Take the time and talk to your children and get to know your children, learn your children.
And don't limit them. Don't limit them because, it's a stigma. It's a stigma on our culture that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get into some type of sport as a boy. You're supposed to get into ballet and all this shit as a girl. And this is what you limit to. Let me tell you something. We just literally went through an election where we had a Black woman trying to represent the United States of America. And the thing is, it was amazing just to see her run. And the reason I say this is because do you know how many young Black girls out here that didn't even think that they could even do something like that?
Didn't even get that far.
Have some senators out here, Jasmine, them, who are in positions where they never seen their own self in that position before until now. So don't limit them. I'm telling you, I have boys, so he was always in the sports, but I allowed him the opportunity to tell me what he wanted to get into. I didn't force it on him because I didn't want him to be limited. I told him, if you want to be whatever you want to be doctor, lawyer, whatever, it's endless. It's not just sticking to sports.
Right.
What is it that you're interested in? He always wanted to do football. Now, every year we went out for football. He never made it till he got to high school. But in the meantime, between time, he loved baseball. He played soccer. And that's just what he liked to do because he's an outdoorsy type of kid.
Right.
So that was just what he liked to do. And I was with it because I'm going to tell y'all something. I got put out of plenty of games. I did. I'm be honest with you. I root for the whole team that put out.
But it's different strokes for different folks because I'm saying my daughter has a husband, and I'm gonna tell you right now, he actually plays rugby. He's Black. He actually plays rugby. I said when I first heard that, I said, "You do what?" He was like, "Rugby."
Your son might want to be the one to be the next Tiger Woods. He may want to do gymnastics, whatever. It does not matter, but at least speak to your kids and find out what they like. Because let me tell you, some parents get it fucked up. They want them to be like them. They will not be like you. Yes, you may have birthed them. Yes, you may have raised them, but you got to understand, how do people become individuals?
Yes.
Being themselves.
That's right.
Regardless of what the parent wants to do, being themselves. And some kids get rebellious when you put so much pressure on them to be something that they're not.
And look at him, Rugsby is fun. Play the next video, fool.
And so we have to get at the bottom of what is this all about? And so having relationships, talking, and spending time together, spending time doing activities. They can be fun activities. They can be work. All of these things create opportunities for bonding. And now, in this day and time, kids spend too much time on social media. They don't spend. Everybody have their own room. They have their own television. Sometimes it's a good idea just to have one television. And I know that sounds just so archaic, but we have to get the kids out of the room. We have to get the family to creating traditions. You'll be surprised because kids hunger for that. They're not going to tell anybody, but they enjoy the family dynamics of spending time together. And so just going out and bowling, fishing, and just even working together. Hey, what we're going to do is we're going to clean this room together as a family, because sometimes they feel separate from the adults. They feel like they're just outsiders. They're in the way. And so just modeling the behavior that you wanted as a kid sometimes can be.
I agree. I definitely agree because one thing about because my daughters kind of did that too. As they became teenagers, everybody had their own room, so they would go on room and they was doing their own thing, and there was no togetherness at all. And I can remember being younger, growing up in my grandmother's house, and then all the grandkids would sit in front of one TV, little black white TV. Everybody know the TV with the TV on top. You had the floor model with the TV on top with the damn antennas everywhere. Yeah, we had that. We had that. But we all sat in front of the TV and we all enjoyed the show. And we laughed. We had our popcorn. We joked. It was fun. It was fun. And now you don't have that. Like she said, you have separation. You have everybody in their own areas. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm
You're lagging.
Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm ready to
So,
go ahead and come back in.
Yes. So back to what I was saying. Yes, there is a lot of separation, and we have to get these children off of these game consoles and make them start going outside more. When we grew up, we had to go outside. We actually had to get out the house. Like my grandma was like, okay, y'all done did your homework, y'all home from school, y'all done did your chores, give them some chores to do, teach them something. And then it was like, now go on outside, go play, but just be back on this porch by a certain time. Yeah, you can't put them back on the porch like back in the day. You know, it's not going to work. But at the end of the day, you can give them structure. You can teach them. You can teach them how to clean behind themselves. Teach them how to wash their own clothes, cook them something to eat. Let them put them in survival mode because you can't always depend on a man. You can't always depend on a woman. You have to learn these things for yourself. Because I'm telling you, if you don't teach them how to cook, clean, give them some kind of structure, it's going to be a problem anyway. You have to be able to do these things because when they get out on their own, you don't want them having to depend on somebody else. You want them to be able to take care of their own stuff. You should be able to cook, clean, wash your clothes, keep your house smelling nice. You know, you should be able to do these things without somebody telling you that.
Yeah.
You have to give them some kind of structure. Give them chores.
Let's be clear. I want to say this specifically because I am a boy mom. Teach your boys how to do that. Teach your boys to not depend on a woman. And I'm not saying like don't get out here, get a relationship, get married and stuff like that. What I'm saying is teach them to be independent. Teach them to understand that don't lean on that woman. Teach them how to be a man by themselves. There's ways to do that. You may not be able to teach them everything, but there's ways to do that to where they will be gentlemen instead of out here hating women because they feel some type of way about you or because that's what their friends do or whatever. You know, teach these boys how to be gentlemen.
That's right.
It's not hard.
Yeah,
don't teach them how to be the man that you want.
You know, I was about to go there, right? I was about to go there. Be careful what you ask for. Look, like when you have prayers, it's very important to be very specific in your prayer. Because we can ask for something like, we want a good man. Okay, but what's a good man to you? Be very specific in that because what's good for me may not be good for sure.
For you. That's right.
We got two different good goods. You understand? So with that being said, be very specific in your prayer, but teach your children how to be better people. So if you see your children going left by the wayside, you know there's a miss somewhere. There's either they're going through something and they need to talk about it. And you need to get in their business and figure out, hey, what's going on? Why are you starting to act out? Because I'm gonna tell you, if you're paying attention to your children, you will know when they're starting to act out because you know your kids if you're paying attention. So they could be something that's bothering them. It could be somebody who's harassing them. It could be anything. Maybe they having problems at work. Maybe they having problems in school. Maybe it's the neighborhood kid down the street. You don't know what. Maybe he got a problem with you, and now your situation is going. But if there's a change, especially just a dramatic change that where they're getting disrespectful and talking back and they wasn't doing that at first, figure out what's going on because it's something deeper than that. Don't just think, oh, he came home today, he's disrespectful. It didn't come out the sky. It didn't drop down. It was probably transitioning into this, and it's gotten here because you didn't take the time to figure out what actually is going on and what was wrong. Let's get into another video, you all. We got a couple more left.
The truth is that children crave stability. They crave leadership. And many modern day parenting gurus kind of position our children as if they are older and wiser than us. Like, we should just follow them, whatever they want, whatever their preferences, let them just discover themselves. But their brains are literally in development. They have zero life experience. They have zero liability and legal ramifications. They don't have a fully developed prefrontal cortex. And truthfully, that kind of responsibility is just too much to put on their little shoulders. It's unfair. That is the role of the parent, and we mustn't abdicate that role. The parent needs to set the rules, set the tone, create an atmosphere of belonging and a lot of trust, but also come down firm on your rules and expectations. And there is zero reason that you should be clear that they have to put on a seatbelt, no questions asked, no exceptions to the rule, but you can't be clear on your rules about social media usage, or dressing a little bit more modestly, or being alone with boys in their bedroom. Those are the types of things that parents ask me about all the time. And I think, well, if you were clear that the seatbelt was a good life choice for them, that is something you're going to enforce and take responsibility for, then adopt that same level of clarity and conviction about other rules that you have in your house as your teenagers grow up. Leave them some room for experimentation and being an individual. Of course, you don't have to be a tyrant, and you must not be.
She's absolutely right.
You know what a lot of people don't understand, and I've learned this along the way, because let me tell you something. There's no perfect parent, but there is a better parent. Which means you can always elevate to be a better parent, but there's no perfect parent. But what I learned, some things I learned as my son got older, and I wish I'd known when I was younger, which he never really was a TV head anyway, but your kids from the age of 1 to 3, the more TV they watch, the more overstimulated they are, the more hyperactive they are. And a lot of parents don't even know that. So if you sitting your kid in front of a TV and expect your TV to babysit your child, you actually be hindering them very much. Very much. And that's why it's good for kids to get outdoors and get dirty. There's nothing wrong with that, because you could be hindering them more than helping them by sitting in front of the TV or giving them PlayStations and Xboxes and all that stuff, and expect that to keep them occupied for more than 3 hours a day. I think it's like more than 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day is too much TV for them. So, and this is some of the stuff that I learned just by watching different getting into different documentaries and stuff like that. You could Google it. I'm not lying. You could Google it. I promise you. And these are some things that I wish I had known when they was younger. My son, like I said, he wasn't really big into TV. He was an outdoor kid, thank God. But I was an outdoor kid myself. I was the one who was climbing trees. I was a tomboy, so I was out there climbing trees, chasing the boys and tying them their asses to the damn limbs and shit on the tree and stuff like that. That's the shit I was doing. I was trying to fuck them up when I was younger. So, I was different. I was different, baby. I was different. My mom they was calling my mama on me. Yeah, I'm fucking you up. I'm fucking you up. So that was me. But yeah, that type of stuff is not good for your kids. So I believe a lot of kids are being babysitted by TV and Xboxes and PlayStations and all that stuff now, and that's another problem. So
it's very different because back in the day they called us latchkey kids.
Yeah, because hey baby, I'm talking about in elementary school we was latchkey kids. Get out of school, I would walk home, let myself in, do my homework, fix me something to eat. I would call my mama, say, "Can I go outside and play?" And like we understand, like we said, times are different. But there's also ways to maneuver around things. You just got to put forth the effort. That's it.
Exactly.
Put into your children what your parent didn't put into you, or somebody else around you didn't put in you. That should give you the motivation to put something into your children that you didn't see.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And that's the thing, what you just said. I always wanted to be different. I never wanted to follow the path my mother followed, because if you watched things and you knew that just didn't sit well with you and it didn't make you feel good, it was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. So with that being said, that everything my mother did or did not do for me, I watched and I paid attention, because I was like, when I have children, I'm gonna make sure I don't do A, B, C, and D, because I don't want my children to feel how I do right now. So I want to do better for my children. Not that I felt like I was better than my mother. I felt like I wanted to do better.
Yeah.
So with that being said, that's what I do. I always tell my children, I want y'all to do better than me. Whatever you see me liking that or failing in, I want y'all to look at me and do better than me. Now, that's what I want them to do. Now, it's up to them to do it. That's what I want them to do. Because my kids are in their 20s now. So I can't look at them and be like, oh, you better do this. No. I got one going to turn 20, one going to turn 26. So at the end of the day, it's like, I want y'all to do better. I've set y'all up to succeed. Now it's up to y'all to succeed and be successful.
Right.
I can only do so much. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. We need to get into this next video, y'all.
There's a difference between parenting your children and raising your children. I'm raising mine right now. They're under the age of 5. What people need to understand is, if they're not moms, they need to get that this time in their life is probably the most important. 5 and under, it's true. Their brain development is going quick and fast.
Right.
And their experiences shape their characteristic.
They change every day.
Yes. Their experiences shape who they are as people. And I'm not there all the time to see it. I want to be there every day. But I also want to provide for my family.
Yeah.
And I want to be a positive example for my kids that they can grow up and do anything that they want to do. But at the same time, I don't get to spend that time with them. And I just want my children to love me just as much as their dad, because he's there a little bit more than I am. And I think working mothers, we're amazing, by the way. They will understand when I say that. Just because mommy's not there doesn't mean that I don't love you. I'm working because I do. So.
Yeah,
I went through that. Right. I went through that.
Yeah,
I did not get to see things with my son, and I'm gonna tell you something. That what she's feeling right there, I went through that because I was a full-time working mom and a part-time parent. And I was doing what I needed to do to make sure that I kept a roof over his head, food in the refrigerator, things like that. And when people hear you say that, they be like, oh, well, that's what you're supposed to do. It's not about that's what I'm supposed to do. Is that that's what I'm working hard to make sure I do. Because when nobody else is there, I have to be there. And I'm the main character in this. So it was hard for me to work full time, and I missed his first step or things like that. That bothered me. But as I proceed to get older, I realized that, they eventually understand, especially if you explain it to them. They eventually understand. It's a process. Yes, it is. It's a process. But you see what I said when I said they develop between that age frame, and you have to be. That's where you have to really help mold and shape their character. Of who they're going to become, because that's when they are the most vulnerable.
Absolutely.
That's when they're the most precious and innocent.
I totally agree. And then you can see it in children nowadays, 3, 4, 5 years old. They have their own personalities, and you can see it. Like, I got a granddaughter that's 4 years old. Ooh. I love her. Girl. She's a spitfire, but she's going to take, and children are honest. They're going to tell you the truth. Because they don't know how to not hurt your feelings. All they know is what you tell them. Be honest, be truthful, be honest, be truthful. Right. So then when they are honest and tell you something, you're like, damn.
They can be brutal.
Listen, it can be brutal. You're like, well, damn, I don't know. Make you clutch your pearls. I'm trying to tell you. But that's just how it is. They don't know no better. And they don't mean anything bad. They're literally just like, oh, well, mommy, you done did this today. Or mommy, you that. I done seen kids do some crazy shit. I done been out in public and a little girl was, and some people, I'm sorry, quit letting your kids talk any kinds of way to you. But if they do that shit in the streets, that means you letting them do it at home. Because I done seen some craziness. I done been in Walmart. Everybody, some stuff be happening in Wally World. I done been in Walmart and you can hear a kid screaming clear across the damn. You're like, where is that coming from? When you get up to it and go by, no, I don't want to do this. I said I don't want to do that. I'm going to tell my dad, shut up. And I'm like, why does this child still have teeth? It's like, why are they so comfortable acting the way they're acting in public or talking to you and treating you like that? Something's going on at home. I guess Papa's talking to you like that or something, and they're picking up on it, because there should be no way in hell. Let me tell you, so I was at work just yesterday, and a lady was telling me and my other coworker about her son. She's like, oh, I gave him my new car to go back and forth to college and da-da-da-da. I went and he came home from school, and went in his room and told him to get up. It was time for his class. He had to go to class. He told me get the fuck out of his room. I said, excuse me? Excuse me? She was like, he told me to get the fuck out of his room. I was like, and he still has he? She was like, well, yeah. I said, well, did you go to his daddy? I mean, what's going on? Was daddy there? She was like, oh, the daddy was downstairs. He didn't say anything. He was like, oh, well, he's a boy. Listen, life is different. Life is different these days because there's no way on God's green earth I would even toot it in my mouth to say, get the fuck out of anything. And then this little bastard is taking and driving your brand new car. She's like, I drive my mom's car while he drives my new car to school every day. The devil's alive.
Some people like the psyche bother them because the government said that you can't do this and you can't do that with your kid. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something about this right here. The government only knows what you tell them. The government only knows what you allow them in the door to see. And what I mean by that is that you should have the right to discipline your kids and not have no repercussions for it. Because see, right now the government knows they're fucked up. And the reason why I say that is because, and I've said this before, first they wanted to be the ones to control your kids. Then when they fuck up, they come back to you and say, fix your kid. Then when they want to limit you on how to fix your kid. And now the kids are just running amok. And now they're coming back to the parents saying, well, what are you going to do about it? No, what the fuck are you going to do about it? Because you wanted to be in my business, and now you in my business, and now you want me to tell you. So you have to learn how to do on your own with your kids and not let them motherfuckers come in between that shit.
Yeah.
Some of you teachers need to pipe the fuck down too, because it's sometimes everything that look the way it is ain't what it is. It's just that they need some goddamn discipline, because y'all got the fucking kids that's out here running up in school, shooting people, running in the clubs and all this shooting people, shooting themselves and doing everything else. Y'all got those type of kids because y'all didn't tell them to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. Not in that order, but I'm just saying. Y'all didn't say that to your kids. Right. Y'all didn't say that to y'all kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all gotta tell them, sit down. Ain't nothing wrong with timeouts and all stuff. The thing is, y'all don't stand on business.
That's right.
Y'all don't stand on business with y'all kids. And now y'all kids are running y'all. Ain't no way on God's screen.
I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell you what I know.
I'm either gonna go two places. I'm either gonna go to hell or jail.
Hell or jail.
One of the two.
Hell or jail.
But I bet you them lips ain't sinking ships no more. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, because I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine somebody saying, I mean, damn.
Girl, ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way in hell.
But I think we got one more video left, you guys.
Now, naturally, parents are not perfect. They do things, they miss the mark. But in terms of making the parent the responsible party for the difficulty and the challenges that the adult child is experiencing is something that's a contributor for estrangement. One other piece of this poor parenting that's an influence in creating an environment for estrangement is this imperfect parenting. Let's flesh that out a little bit. So parents are going to be imperfect, but the measurement on the lens that an adult child could see their parent as missing the mark frequently, not being there for them. This is also participating in how the adult child views the relationship and is a contributor to estrangement.
I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that. The way you conduct yourself with your children, like I said, my kids are in their 20s.
We said that.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah.
They're still your children. Even though these children are grown, they're still your children. They will always be your babies. So at the end of the day, we feel like when they get a certain age that, since they feel like they're grown, they don't need us anymore. That's not true. Sometimes they need us the most when they're this age.
Yes.
And that's the truth. Especially if they wasn't given everything that they needed growing up until they got to that stage. Now that they're in their 20s, it's like, okay, now what? I'm lost. And then when you got a lost soul trying to raise another child, because some of them are parents now. Yeah. So when you have these lost souls trying to raise a child, they don't know which way is up, which way is down. They just winging it. But I'll be honest, I feel like all of us wing it, really. Because none of us have a manual. Huh?
I call them touch-ups. It's like when they become adults, you gotta go in there and do a little touch-up here and there. Because like what you just said, my son is 20, 2 kids, married. So let me tell y'all, like today, prime example. Today, I went over there to watch my youngest grandson so that he can go get his haircut. And what he didn't know was that I was gonna take care of everything for him, and I did. But it was funny because he was like, "You sure you okay?" So I was like, "Yeah." I said, "Look, I said, you know what? Let me tell you something." And the men will love this, but this is who I am. I said, dads need a break too. It's okay. It's okay to feel like it. It's okay to express that. It's okay to understand it. It's okay to live in it. Dad needs breaks too. Because you have some fathers out here, and I'll be the first one to tell you. But it's true. I'll be the first one to tell you. So you have some dads out here. I would tell you the dad I feel the most sorry for, though. The dads I feel the most sorry for is the dads that have daughters. Because us, we will go, be at, and think that dad could just be Superman, and he's not.
Yeah.
Just like you have women out here that have kids, and our kids just and they think we super moms, and we're not.
Right.
We human beings too. But you also got to teach your kids that you are a human being as well.
Right.
That and I feel like where that falls short is that when you give your kids too much, they are starting to expect everything. And then when you get to that point of stress and you're like, God dang, like these kids don't understand this, and that, you got to understand, you put that pressure on yourself because you allow them to see you in such a perfect light of doing everything. You didn't let them see the reality when life hits.
There you go.
And
I'm
it's okay
that
to let them
parent.
see.
I was that parent.
And it's okay to let your kids see the struggle because that way they are understanding and they get it when they hit their life, when they turn into their adulthood, that life is not peachy keen. Everything's not going to be roses. And let me tell you something, and the world is not going to be sweet to your children like you are.
Exactly. You said a mouthful, Sugar. I'm going to tell you, I was that parent. I've spoken on it before. I was that parent because I did not want my children to go through what I went through. So I did everything I could to shelter them and cover them. And that's my fault. But I can take it. I can accept responsibility for that because I know what I did.
Me too.
I wanted them. They lost their dad at a young age. My children were 3 and 5 when their father passed away. So with that being said, I had to do everything. And me coming from a background where my mother didn't really raise me, my grandmother did. I just had to go to her after my grandparents died. It was a situation where, I didn't like how she was moving and maneuvering. So I was like, my kids ain't gonna go through this. I wasn't raised this way. My kids ain't gonna go through this. So with that being said, I tried to give them everything I did not have. But what I did was, listen, I spoiled, you spur the rod, spoil the
child.
I did that because they never really got whoopings at all. I think one of my children probably got 1 or 2 in her life. And I was like, you know what I'm trying to do is not, because my mother was the type that if you looked at her wrong, you was going to get hit. You was going to get beat with something. I didn't want that for my kids. So I didn't do it. And since I did not, and I'm not saying I should have did it, but I'm saying I should have whooped their ass a little more.
Firm.
Like, they definitely had moments where,
and even if you didn't whoop them, more firm.
They should have got that action. And so I've been more firm. And so with that being said, I did everything. Of course I cooked, I cleaned, I took care of my kids. I worked hard. But at the same time, they didn't want for shit. I mean, like if it was out, they had it. The Jordans, all that shit, if it was out, they had it. Because I did it. Not because nobody else did it. I busted my ass, broke my back to make sure they had everything. But at the end of the day, what happened is when they got older, they expected it. Oh, well, Mom, you don't do this no more. I'm like, damn, y'all in y'all 20s, the fuck you, what? Like, I did that. That's my fault.
Yeah.
And I can accept that. So that's why I can speak on this now, because I know where I went wrong. I know what I should have done different. But at the end of the day, now with my grandchildren, it's different. It's like, okay, you need to learn this. You got to go clean that. You got to do chores. I'm on it.
Yeah.
I call them, like, they have moved back to Kentucky and I'm somewhere else. I'm all the way in North Carolina. But at the end of the day, I tell them every day, I call it FaceTime almost every single day. What are y'all doing? How was school? What was going on with school? Did you meet any new friends? Did you do your homework? I need to know everything. I don't give a damn. From way out here, I need to know everything.
my understanding of what I received Spare the Rod, Spoil the Child was don't give them everything, and also teach them that there's other people, other kids out here that don't get the things that you get.
Absolutely.
So it wasn't necessarily about an ass whooping, it was about having an understanding. And so with my son, I never bought Jordans and shit like that. Because I always instilled in him to let him know what you have, there's kids out here that don't have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've always done that. But when he got older is when he got into the phase of wanting certain things, and and I may appease it every now and then and stuff like that. But I think I was like that because, like I said, when I was younger, I made my own money and bought my own shoes and clothes in school and stuff like that. So I thank God for every storm I went through, because in every storm I had a lesson. And then therefore, after that, as I proceed to get older, now my blessings is starting to come in abundance to me. But it takes time. There's no, like I always say, there's no perfect parent. There's no perfect understanding of it. But if you take the time to learn it, even if you didn't receive from your own parent, it will help you a lot. And it is okay. I need parents to understand it is okay to not be perfect. It is okay to fall short sometimes. And it is okay to let your children see it sometimes so they can understand it better as they become adults.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what I was saying was, I do feel like I needed to whoop their ass more, for sure. Because it was a different situation they should have had. But at the same time, I also said that it was a lot of things I should have done different. I shouldn't have had sheltered them the way they did. It was a lot of different things. It wasn't just the ride. It was a lot of different things I could have done different. And if I had a chance to do it over, it would be so much different.
Yeah. Hell, like I said, there's a lot of shit that I learned going into the adulthood of my son that I didn't know when he was little, that I would have loved to try to do with him. And it wasn't even a thing then, or it's just, I didn't know it at all.
Didn't know it, right.
Yeah. So it's a process, but we got to do better experience
absolutely. And
don't
accept responsibility and accountability.
Accountability, yes. And remember, your kids are human beings too.
And they are a reflection of you.
Amen.
We got to get out of here, y'all.
Yeah.
But it was a good show. We hope everybody enjoyed it. Keep those letters coming in for us. We love to read the letters from you all and comment on it. So make sure y'all tune in every Monday, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. I'm telling y'all gonna miss some good things.
That's right.
Y'all have a good night.